said walking health food when I mentioned the name. So
yeah.
I said that you he does that I do the same thing that he's doing, but that's just more way around when it comes to that. The law also said it would not be a hard thing to understand and think of a few things.
Yeah.
But it's for and he started feeding so far that he was about a 12-page, 15-page informational booklet that he had as well that goes into everything from the Pentagon Wars and the 1933 and when what's the name Abraham Lincoln and when the country went bankrupt, and he goes into different things where it brings it up to date where this is where it is and this is why people are actually dealing with the situation that they're dealing with, because the country is dealing with a system of law and also a section created so they can use the people for revenue. And he makes it pretty clear that they've been used for revenue. And the money, the real money, has been pulled out of circulation. So he gives them an understanding of what's really going on and what they can do in terms of the remedy to get out of that situation.
But the thing is that the government has documents and laws put in place to show that that was never their intention. That the government never intended for people to be used for revenue. They only intended that the names that the people use on their birth certificates, which is the legal names, be used as revenue. So the thing is that the people is attaching themselves and identifying themselves as the names. And that's where the confusion...
The birth certificate that shows how that is used as a instrument, commercial instrument.
But when you go into the governing legislation for that document, when you go into the legislation that governs the production of that document, which is the Vital Statistics Act, it clearly states there that the name is given a name, not the child is given a name, right? And then it clearly states that it's not intended to be used as personal identification. So if they clearly establish and they clearly tell you that that document is not to be used as personal identification and is not in the intention of the legislation that is intended to be used as personal identification, then it's not the government's fault when a man or the woman chooses to attach that information on that document to them as personal identification. So is the people's fault and the people who enslaved themselves, because in the Constitution the government clearly says no slavery or involuntary servitude. So what the people find themselves in is voluntary servitude. So what happened is the people voluntarily identify themselves and attach themselves to the name appearing on the birth certificate and say that
people have attached themselves to that because of ignorance and they don't know what they ought to know. So this is one thing. What he does is bring out that information, saying that he more or less will show them what this is what they're doing and this is not what they're supposed to be doing, and this is how he can pick.
Right. But he can't blame the government. He can't blame anything on the government. I mean, as far as that is concerned, because the government is doing other things that they need to be blamed of. But as far as that aspect of things in the world, the government has nothing to do with that because God set the government up. You know what I'm saying? God set the government up for a purpose. So.
Done this secretly without the people's acknowledgement or knowing. So you can't say that you can't say that to some degree.
Yeah, but
in terms of ignorance of the law is no excuse. But when you look at how we were lucky to actually come across this information The masses already know that.
I mean, it's not that we were lucky. It's just that we have the eyes to see. But all the information, they put it right in front of everybody's faces. That's the way that they deal with everything. They put everything in front of your faces. And it's just up to the individuals to tap into a certain awareness, to tap into a certain state of consciousness and awareness of what's in front of their face and the things that they're dealing with every day, to clearly see certain things, just like it would develop in these individuals that would have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. So if it's up to the individual.
Let's bear in mind that the scripture says that they're free mischief by law. So the Hebrews say that they are not blamable. They're free mischief by law.
Yeah, but Christ says, seek and ye shall find, and knocking it shall be open unto you. So if you seek and you go out and searching out the information, it's not like they hiding the information. They're not hiding the information. So it's up to the people to go out there seeking information. What Christ said, seek and you shall find. So yeah, they will try to frame mischief by using a law. But if you don't seek out and search out your way when you're dealing with these people, then you're not going to find your path, or you're not going to find a resolution or a remedy. So what they're doing is one thing, but what we have to do, the way we react to how they act, is another thing. So it's like if they act upon you with the police, you have to react in a certain way to remedy the situation. But if you act in a way where you're attaching yourself to the name, or you're identifying yourself as the name, or you're not shifting the burden of proof on them to prove that the name personally identifies you, then nothing you do is going to work. That's all it comes down to. So the whole situation is seeking out the information that they put out there right in front of your face, which is a birth certificate. And then when you seek out the information of what the document is and how it's supposed to be used, and you say, well, look, these people are telling me that I'm not supposed to use this as personal identification. Well, then how much more complicated it gets than that? Well, okay. Well, we got a mortgage situation here. All right, well, let's go to the bankers. Let's go to the court. I'm going to take the birth certificate to the court, and we're going to ask the judge, is this document and the information appearing on this document intended to be used as personal identification? Can anybody prove that I am this name appearing on this document here? Because this is who the people trying to, take me out of a house because of this name. So it gets no more complicated than bringing in a birth certificate in a situation and just asking a few simple questions as to what is the name, or who is the name pertaining to on this document. Whose name is this? Whose name is this? That's all it gets down to. Bring the birth certificate in and say, whose name is this? Oh, you want to run up with me on the street, kick down my doors in my house, put me in handcuffs, bring me to the police precinct, talk about fingerprint me? All right, well, I don't have a name to give you. If you want a name, here, use this one, but it's not mine. Here, use that one, but it's not mine. Oh, what do you mean it's not yours? Well, it's not mine. They just told me I could use it, but it doesn't belong to me. So you bring me in front of a judge, who's going to stand up when he say for the defendant to rise? What am I going to say when he's asking me what's my name? Well, I'm going to just repeat the whole situation, because it doesn't get more complicated than that. So they put the information out there in front of everybody's face for everybody to see. Everybody has it. They have a birth certificate. But if you walking around with something, or you in possession of something, and you don't know what it is, or you don't know how to use it, it's not their fault. Because they're telling you how to use it. They're telling you how to use it. So the way that they told you how to use it is the way to avoid foreclosure, is a way to avoid liability. They told you to use it as a LLC. That's the way that the birth certificate is a document that they tell you, use it as a LLC, because It's not personal identification. That's why you use it as an LLC, because it's not personal identification. All right. Yeah.
Like I said, too much of this radioactive molecules get to the head here.
Right.
So
yeah. Okay.
We could hear it another time.
Yeah, we're gonna talk again, sis. Tell him give me a call, or we'll talk again soon.
I'm sorry. Okay.
You can tell him give me a call.
Oh, okay. No problem. I'll give him your number.
Yeah.
All right. So,
all right. Shalom.